Thank you very much for joining us. Congresswoman, let's just start with what John was just talking about, the White House threatening to withhold federal funds from different institutions. What is your response to that?
Well, I'm old enough to remember when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were questioning the efficacy of the vaccinations just because President Trump was president at the time. And now there's this push to harm states and potential institutions who don't get the vaccine or don't require people to get the vaccine. This really should be a decision for individuals and families with their health care providers and their physicians. And we shouldn't be threatened by the President of the United States. I mean, look what's going on at the border. What are they doing about super spreading Delta variant down there? Are they pushing this kind of requirement on the thousands of illegal immigrants who are coming across our border and spreading this deadly illness across the country? Probably not.
Yeah. Congresswoman Mace, I wanted to ask you about the status of what's going on Capitol Hill as far as masks inside the Capitol building. I know you had a problem with Speaker Pelosi trying to arrest people for not wearing the mask, even if you're fully vaccinated. And I wanted to see what the latest was and how you feel about it.
So far that we've heard, I walked into my office on Thursday morning in D.C. to learn that Nancy Pelosi had directed the Capitol Hill police to arrest any visitor to the Capitol and our staff if they were maskless. And I lost it. You know, I had 4 words for Nancy Pelosi. It was come and get me. She also wanted members of Congress who weren't wearing their masks reported to the police as well. And then you saw members of the media with the blue check mark saying, well, if they're gonna go maskless, we should arrest them there, but let's arrest them if they're not vaccinated too. To my understanding, nothing has changed. That threat is still there. And it just goes to show how out of touch and how authoritarian Pelosi's power and the power grab of her and the administration is becoming with each increasing moment, each increasing week.
Just to compare, former President Trump threatened to withhold funds from local communities all the time, particularly when it came to sanctuary cities. So why would this be different?
Well, this is different because this is a vaccination. Everyone has different health care standards and different conditions. In some areas of the country, there are hot spots, and others there are not. Most of the country is not a hot spot. These kinds of decisions should be made at the local level between families and individuals and their doctors. I tell people all the time, I'm encouraging vaccination so we can keep the spread of the Delta variant low and lower. Those that are getting it and are not vaccinated, they are getting hospitalized. There is a higher morbidity rate. But that is a personal choice and a personal freedom that should be protected for individuals in this country. It's a lot different when you're talking about a vaccination, about medical care versus sanctuary cities. They're two couldn't be more different.
I want to get your response to one of your colleagues, Congresswoman Cori Bush, defending her massive security spending, at the same time calling to defund police. Let's listen to what she had to say, and we'll get your response.
I'm going to make sure I have security because I know I have had attempts on my life and I have too much work to do. There are too many people that need help right now for me to allow that. So if I end up spending $200,000, if I spend $10 more on it, you know what? I get to be here to do the work. So suck it up, and defunding the police has to happen. We need to defund the police.
Your response, Congresswoman.
Totally crazy. I mean, I find it really rich. A socialist finally discovers capitalism through the guise of private security, and someone whose hypocrisy sees no bounds, who wants to defund the police, yet, you know, is advocating and bragging about the private security that she needs. I mean, this is I hate politics, I hate politicians, I hate the whole thing. And this is one of the reasons that the American public, that citizens of our country also hate D.C. They hate the swamp, they hate what's going on because of the hypocrisy that we see day in and day out. Cori Bush thinks you're an idiot.
Yeah, you know, she spends, what, $200,000 on private security, but yet regular folk aren't supposed to be protected by police departments across this country. And then also there's the hypocrisy that ties into our original conversation about masks, because we repeatedly keep seeing pictures of Nancy Pelosi and others where they wear the mask in front of the cameras, and then it's something entirely different off camera.
Oh, absolutely, that hypocrisy there. And guess what? I get threats on my life too all the time, and I can still carry in South Carolina. South Carolina, pretty soon in a couple of days, will have open carry, and I'll be exercising my rights as a citizen of the United States of America. But that's not hypocrisy. That's freedom in our Bill of Rights at work.
Right. Okay, Congresswoman Nancy Mace, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you as always.